I think we are a go. I do not know though. I tried to set this up. I don't know. Whatever. We're trying to figure stuff out. That's all we can do. Good morning, everybody. How are you? It is. I was going to check the date, but I don't need to because it's my fucking birthday. It's February 22nd. Yeah, and I want to get into some market updates. And if this mic is too hot, I might want to back this down just a little bit so I don't blow anybody out. I'm trying a bunch of new stuff, so I apologize. I'm just back from visiting my mother. And yeah, my father's funeral was last week, and Tuesday was the military funeral. And I have never been to a military funeral. And yeah, we will get into that in a minute. Some interesting life lessons I learned and some perspective shifts and changes. I don't know. Yeah, we will get into some of this stuff. Let me get into some market updates because there is some stuff going on. We have AI tokens are absolutely melting faces. Are you moving with the AI tokens or are you just watching? We have Yuga Labs, the co-founder, Greg Solana. He resumes his position as CEO, steering that ship again. I think community sentiment is good, but then Yuga released another announcement, did not go so well. We will get into that in a second. Canpai Pandas. If you don't know about them, you should definitely learn about them. I have a great podcast with the founder of Canpai Pandas, Ice Bags, that is worth listening to. He dropped some alpha in there, but Canpai Pandas just had their highest sale. It was a 65 ETH sale last night. Welcome to the big leagues. We have AI tokens. The ones I want you to put on your list are Render and AGIX, ticker sign RNDR and AGIX, and NFT Paris des Mademont. So Paris, NFT Paris starts tomorrow. Chaos, clarity, noise, and narrative. It is Thursday, February 22nd, and it's time for some rare bits. Today, the Crypto Greed and Fear Index is a 74 degrees. NFT sentiment is 30 degrees. NFT sentiment is up 1. Crypto is down 4. For the crypto, it takes us out of extreme greed, puts us into greed, but it is still fine. I think we are coasting really nice. We will get to some of the Bitcoin oscillators in a minute. It looks like it is a perfect opportunity to continue buying Bitcoin. Top NFT search term is Trump sneakers. If you haven't seen them, they're gold sneakers with bright red soles. I actually like them, which is upsetting. And I would actually wear them, which is even more upsetting. ETH dominance is up for the 6th day in a row, while Bitcoin's dominance goes up and down. It's down for the moment. As far as we look at sales volume for both ETH and Solana, it is down on the 24 hours. We have about 56 days to the Bitcoin halving. Ethereum, it is chasing that $3,000 mark. I am going on wax. I see it hitting $5,400 really soon. Total market capitalization for the crypto sphere is $2 trillion. It is amazing to see. Optimism announces more airdrops, and Lady Gaga is going to do some headlining in Fortnite. Before we get into some more news, I want to look at some numbers for the nerds today. Let's see what is going on at the moment. And I apologize, I do not have a professional setup with video that pops up and charts and all that shit. It's just what I'm looking at. Maybe one day I'll get somebody to help me and we'll pop up charts and do all that shit. Well, looking at the numbers at this moment, we have a sea of green. Assets across the entire ecosystem are really green. We've only got 2, 3, 4, 5 that I think are down. Ton, Leo, STX, they are down, but everything else is in the green. Nothing's, H-bar is in the mad green, which we love to see, but everything is trading in the green at the moment. Double clicking on some things, we have Bitcoin trading at $51,627. It is up 116% on the year. Ethereum is trading at 2,982, up 83% on the year. BNB, 381. We did technical analysis on this when we were looking at it at the 300, and we were just watching it break barrier after barrier. It is so nice to see it continue on its trajectory. And Solana has really been flat for the week. It's actually down for the week, but flat recently. We're trading at 105. but we're still up 339% on the year. You can't make this up. Now listen, I'm looking at some of the Bitcoin oscillators. So we have a sell, a buy, and a strong buy. The oscillator says sell at the moment. We have 3 sell, 7 neutral, and 1 buy. The summary across the board is 5 sell, 8 neutral, and 13 indicators that it is a good time to buy. And we look at moving averages. 2 say sell, 1 say neutral, 12 say buy. It is a buying opportunity. It will continue to be. As Michael Saylor says, he will continue to buy the top. Looking at some of the top sales, we had a Bored Ape Yacht Club number 2333 number. It sold for 88 Ethereum. We had the Kanpai Panda sell for 65 Ethereum and a CryptoPunk sell for 59.5 Ethereum. A Kanpai Panda. Somebody purchased a Kanpai Panda over a CryptoPunk. Let that sink in for a moment. Kanpai Pandas are absolutely on a tear. I urge you to listen to the podcast with Ice Bags. They have some stuff coming down the pike that has nothing to do with the collection, but it has everything to do with where they are taking their community. And by being an NFT holder, you are part of that community, and they have some interesting growth strategy things coming forward. Looking at the top collections on the Ethereum side, we have Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Pudgy Penguins, Little Pudgies, and Moonburns rounding out the top collections. We have Bored Apes trading at 22.22 Ethereum. Mutant Apes are up from, like before this recent before the announcement, they had dropped, sentiment had dropped off, and watching the Mutant Apes drop below 4 ETH was interesting because I often comment that the Mutant Apes have been like an NFT stablecoin, and they have really hovered around this 4.1211 area, and they are back to that now. Will they stay there, or will they continue to go up? It looks like Bored Apes are kind of distancing the gap between themselves and Pudgy Penguins. I don't know, it's interesting. Little Pudgies, Big Pudgies, will they ever overtake Mutants and Apes? It remains to be seen. Moonburns have been up. They're trading at 2 Ethereum. Let's look at some of the collections on the Solana ecosystem. We have Frogana's Transdimensional Fox Federation, Open Soul Map, and Tensorians rounding out the top 5. We have Mad Lads coming up next. They're trading at 190 Solana. Really nice to see. Frogana's are trading at just under 4. Anything else I want to double click on? Not so much. Looking at the Bitcoin collections, top 5, we have Node Monkeys, Bitcoin Puppets, RSIC Meta Protocol, Quantum Cats, and the Rune Mania Miners. Double clicking on a couple of these. Node Monkeys, they are trading at 0.264 Bitcoin at the moment. That's $13,600. They had 209 sales in the last 24 hours. These are all notable things. Anything else we want to see? OMB is trading at 0.785 Bitcoin. That is $40,000, ladies and gentlemen. That is impressive. Now let's look at some other news that caught my attention this morning. We have Lady Gaga. She is headlining in Fortnite. There is a music festival that goes on until April 22nd. There are interactive experiences for anybody who joins in, and I'm sure there's going to be some swag that goes along with it you will be able to unlock if you participate. We have Nifty Island. If you have not been there, it is quite an impressive little organization where you can bring your NFT onto the island, and that is your avatar. And to think that, I don't know, I remember as a kid when you can actually play yourself in the video games, it is going to take off. So we are getting closer and closer to that. How long do you think it is before we get to the point where you can go into a machine? And these machines may exist in several locations. So you go into a machine and you get a full body scan, and that is used for buying your clothes. It's used for fitting your avatars in the metaverse. It's used for absolutely everything. It would be really neat to have a digital profile of yourself that you could use for all those things. Have Amazon interact with your digital profile and suggest things that will fit you well, or make your figure or physique look better than it does. Whatever the case, it would be nice to have that digital asset and use that for your shopping experience, because it would cut out so much muck and mire, which would be a good thing. Next up, we have Improbable. They are trying to launch this crazy gaming space And you know what? People are talking about it on Spaces today, and it's interesting. This gaming space, they're trying to have 40,000 consecutive concurrent users all interacting with decent audio, spatial effects, frames per second. All of the bells and whistles are supposed to be there. My question is, why the fuck would you want to be around 40,000 people? Even if you are at a stadium, and I'm sorry if I'm yelling, even if you are at a stadium that's with 100,000 people and you're watching a giant football match, I don't know if you're going to get that crowd effect from being immersed with 40,000 digital avatars. Maybe you will. Maybe this is part of the metaverse experience that's coming down the pike that I need to open my eyes to. But I feel like the magic is in the cocoon of people that you have, your team that you're playing Fortnite with, your posse that you're running with. 40,000 people is a lot of interactivity. Is it to prove a point that we have the digital prowess to do it? And if that is so, I get it, and it is a feat. Is there a way to better use that technology to give a better experience for a smaller group of people as opposed to 40,000 people simultaneously? I don't know. It remains to be seen. Pudgy Penguins, they are doing their double dip. What does that mean? Walmart has placed a second order for the plushies. It's all about getting that second order. That sets up the ramp forward. I am super proud to see how they are taking things. There are like 3,100 stores across the US that are holding these things. They're going to be selling these little squeaky plushy things. There's QR codes involved. There's all kinds of things. Basically, it is another chance for expansion of that ecosystem to untapped markets as we move forward. So it is really nice to see. Nobody else, this is outreach that is, it's impressive. While the gaming stuff is motivational, this is outreach on a different level. If they can get this associated with kids, and especially young kids that grow up looking at these penguins and finding an affinity for them, and if there's a storyline for these kids to grow up with following these penguins, it will result in some lifelong consumers, and that is the goal. And to be a global company, I think you need to start young and deal with the youngsters and kind of bring that, you need to think future forward always. Next up, we have 8coin. It is on a roller coaster ride. It was, I think all-time low was about $1.73. They have just announced a partnership with Arbitrum, and that caused the coin to spike about 21%. Do we continue to see movement like that? I think the fact that there are some new deflationary tactics involved are also having the price speculation go up. We will see if we have new announcements from the Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Yuga ecosystem on all of these things. But what I do love is there is a ton of competition in the space. We have the Pixel token that's taken off with Sappy Seals. There's a bunch of different things there's a bunch of moving parts. So seeing people constantly try and evolve for this attention it's interesting, and it's good for the consumer. It's good for all of us because it pushes tech forward, it pushes the ideology forward, and it lets us see how far we can take things. Just announced Commerce Coinbase. They have discontinued their support for Bitcoin and other UTXO coins. They aim to streamline payments, and they feel that Bitcoin is clunky as shit. I'm making that part up. Brian Armstrong hints at potential return of Bitcoin support, though he is not saying anything for sure. People are poo-pooing him, and I get it, but let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out. There's plenty of places to buy, sell, and trade these tokens. And I mentioned earlier AI tokens, including Render and Singularity NET, Singularity Net. Ticker signs for Render is RNDR, and ticker sign for Singularity Net is AGIX. Put these on your list. They have recently recorded double-digit gains amidst market correction. So even when shit was going down, these things were going up. There is room for these things to continue to go up, in my viewpoint. They're also doing stuff with NVIDIA, and NVIDIA just posted some huge returns, $17.8 billion post NVIDIA's earning report. So that is just absolutely crazy momentum. These chips are going absolutely crazy. And it's funny, even, I'm going to take a sip of this, one sec. And to touch on the NVIDIA chip stuff, so keep in mind, I think in my podcast I reported a couple days ago that one of the interesting things about Sam Altman, after his recent just gangbuster evaluation for OpenAI, he is getting ready to shift his focus to manufacturing chips. And the idea behind it is he is going to take the AI technology to make that process more efficient and streamlined. And my guess is that he will be able to come up with something possibly quicker than everybody else. So keep that on your mind. AI is a great vehicle to be involved with moving forward. I do not see it as a miss. If there's a good team involved and solid company founding, it's a good bet, especially for some long-term bets if you're looking to do that. And as I said, we have Ethereum that passes 3K. Bitcoin is struggling around 52K. Market cap for everything is $2 trillion, and that is awesome. You guys, the secret sauce for today is you may be disappointed if you fail, but you'll be doomed if you do not try. Remember, the rabbit hole runs deep. Still craving crypto clarity? Check into my Substack. I update it every morning. I also do a bunch of shit on Twitter. Now I wanted to get into, I don't know, just some different stuff. The past year and a half has been tough for me. My father's been sick, and I moved from California to Florida just to be closer to my family and help them deal with that. And my father was fighting cancer, some pretty aggressive treatment, and he actually completed some radial chemotherapy. And if you guys know what that is, that's pretty intense stuff. And he was having a laser shot into his head every day. And he was able to complete that portion of the treatment. And at the end of the treatment, you ring a bell, like, I made it to the other end of this absolutely horrific experience. And it was probably 3 or 4 days later that the doctors called up and said, no more fighting. Like, the new PET scan came in and things don't look good. And it was tough. And so I lost my dad a bit ago, and I went to his funeral, and Tuesday I had the opportunity to go to his full military funeral, and that was really interesting. It's something that I didn't want to do. It's not that I didn't want to do it. A lot of this was hard for me. So the full military honors funeral, you know, I mean, my dad was old. He was in his 80s, and he fought in Vietnam, and still he had this military funeral, and watching the honor guard operate and listening to taps being played. And not only is taps a super moving thing, especially when somebody does it really well. I didn't know this, that when military people die, they take the flag and they unfold it. And these 2 honor guards will refold the flag, and they're very precise in their movement, and you're getting to see it's what honor looks like. That's my best way to articulate it. That is what honor looks like. So even though my dad fought in Vietnam, and these young soldiers, the honor that they showed was pretty cool. And a lot of you may not know, like, Vietnam was a super controversial war. And my dad was in law school, and if you were in law school, if you were a medical whatever, there were certain people that got a pass that didn't have to go to war. And my dad volunteered to go. And so to get to see people honor him, it was special. And one, it recognizes the sacrifices that service people make whenever they serve. Yeah, and whatever your thoughts are on the military or any of that stuff, like they honor each other, and it was neat to see that in action. Getting to see it also, yeah, it provides some closure for us and the family, and getting to see people honor my father was awesome. And just to honor the decision to do something that some people are not brave enough to do, you know, like, I don't know. It was awesome. So, I don't know, the past couple months, that's why I've been kind of away from Twitter. I've been dealing with my family stuff. I show up every morning, though, and I still put in my Substack, and I try and do my podcast. But other than that, I've been kind of dealing with stuff. But that is about to change. It's my birthday today, and I got to kick shit into gear. I don't know, just respect people. Be open to change. Be open to your perspective on things changing. If there's anything I learned from the last bull market is don't be a maxi. And like the Bitcoin maxi is like, it's a mistake. Like, granted, it's going places and I believe in it, but to be a maxi, and I don't know how that correlates to my dad's funeral, but it correlates in the sense that there were things about my father that I didn't understand as a kid. He wasn't easy on me. And getting to see people celebrate his life gave me a different impression that I needed. So that was awesome. But just keep your perspectives open to your family, to your friends, to people you don't know, to ideologies and viewpoints that are different than yours. We only get one shot at this. We really do. And I feel like a fucking idiot right now. But anyway, I needed to get some of this shit off my chest. Last thing I want to touch on is the folds in the flag, the 13 folds. And I never knew this. So when Honor Guard folds the flag and they present it to you, the first fold is for life. The second fold is for belief in eternal life. The third fold is for honor and remembrance of veterans. The fourth fold is for nations' guidance from God. The fifth fold is for tribute to the country. The sixth fold is for armed forces, readiness to defend. The seventh fold is one nation under God, indivisible. The eighth fold is a tribute to all the mothers. The ninth fold is for womanhood and faith. The 10th fold is for fathers of the country. The 11th fold is for Jewish citizens' God-given rights. The 12th fold is for honor and progress. And the last and 13th fold is for the United States of America. And it was cool getting to see the United States honor my dad.